My wealthy parents, who own a restaurant chain, refused to invite my waitress wife to our family trip to Tuscany after 3 years of marriage because she grew up in a trailer park. So when I confronted them, they had police plant cocaine in our apartment and orchestrated a massive campaign using their country club connections to destroy our lives until the groundskeeper they paid to plant the drugs testified against them and they lost everything. My family has always been wealthy and tight-knit. We own a chain of high-end restaurants across 3 states that my grandmother started with one location back in the 70s. Growing up, we spent summers at our beach house in the Hamptons and winters skiing in Aspen. But ever since I married Sarah 3 years ago, something changed. My parents became cold. They started finding reasons why she couldn't make it to family functions. At first, I figured they just needed time to warm up to her. Last month, my mom announced she'd rented a villa in Tuscany for the whole family. 3 weeks, all expenses covered, leaving in August. The family group chat exploded with everyone talking about wine tours and cooking classes. I called my mom to thank her and asked which room Sarah and I would have. There was silence. Then she said, "Oh, honey, I only reserved space for immediate family. You know how these old Italian villas are." I couldn't believe what I was hearing. "Mom, Sarah is my wife. She is immediate family." She started going on about how the villa was at capacity and there simply wasn't room for everyone. But that made zero sense since my brother Jake's girlfriend of 4 months was going. They weren't even engaged yet. She somehow made the list, and my wife of 3 years didn't. That's when I lost it. I told my mom I wasn't going if Sarah wasn't invited. She got upset and said I was being unreasonable about a simple misunderstanding. But this wasn't a misunderstanding. This was becoming a pattern. Sarah wasn't invited to my cousin's engagement party because it was just a small gathering. She was left out of our family's annual charity gala because my mom forgot to add her name to the guest list. She wasn't included in my grandfather's 90th birthday celebration because it was only for blood relatives. I was furious. Sarah had done everything to fit in with them. She learned to play tennis so she could join my mom at the club. She studied wine just to have something to talk about with my dad. She even took etiquette classes on her own time and dime. But they still treated her like she didn't exist. I told my parents we were done playing their games. If Sarah wasn't welcome, then neither was I. We booked a road trip to national parks instead. That's when everything exploded. My dad called me shouting that I was choosing that woman over my own family. My mom sent long texts about how I was breaking her heart over someone I'd barely known for a few years. The truth came out when my sister Emma called me after too many glasses of wine at a family dinner. She was crying and kept saying she felt terrible about something. "What are you talking about?" I asked. She hiccuped and said, "It's not about her not being family. It's because she's a waitress who grew up in a trailer park." My heart sank. Emma explained that our parents had been complaining for months about how embarrassed they were that I'd married beneath our status. They were terrified about what their friends at the country club would say. They didn't want grandchildren who might inherit her low-class background. I wanted to throw up. Every excuse about space or guest lists or blood relatives had been covering up their snobbery. The next morning, I drove straight to my parents' house and confronted them. I had Emma on speakerphone repeating what she'd told me. My mom tried to backtrack at first, but eventually my dad admitted they had concerns about compatibility. My mom actually